Hi, Love Bug. Welcome to the Naked Yoga Podcast. This podcast is all about incorporating bits and pieces of yogic philosophy and spirituality into your everyday life. I'm your host, Nika Okoli, a graduate student at Columbia University's Spirituality Mind-Body Institute. I'm also a yoga and meditation instructor at a little studio called Core Power Yoga. You may have heard of it. My mission here is to help you nourish your mind, body, and spirit connection. Each podcast episode will begin with a guided meditation, followed by the core of the episode pairing a spiritual concept with science. Lastly, each episode will end with a mindful closure, providing you with actionable steps you can do after listening to deepen your mind, body, and spirit connection. So, without further ado, let's get right into today's episode. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm sorry, it has been quite a while since I have recorded an episode. Life just got kind of crazy, and between like June 10th and June 25th, I was at home for like 48 hours. And then I just had, a lot of catching up with friends and stuff to do. And then I blinked and it was like July 4th. And yeah, things just got a little crazy here. But I'm really happy to be back. And I'm really happy to kind of be back in routine with you guys. And so I honestly have been having a bit of an existential crisis. I think with the new moon in Cancer, which if you don't know, Cancer is a water sign, kind of like me. I'm a Scorpio for those of you who don't know. But Cancers, unlike Scorpios, really wear their emotions a bit more on their sleeves. As a Scorpio, I will be very emotional, very upset, but I swear you would never know. I just don't like showing my feelings like that. But Cancers are a little bit more emotional, and I have been feeling it. Like I was telling my friend, I was like, I literally have been crying all day and I don't even know why, but I also started my cycle. So all things, come in divine timing. So I honestly think it works out quite well because I wanted to talk to you guys today about like our spiritual journey and our spiritual path. And I think this existential crisis is rooted in Cancer, but also rooted in just like a fear of like trusting the universe and a fear of the unknown with everything kind of going in my life and a huge state of transition right now. So without further ado, I think our meditation for today will be best suited as like a kind of conversation with our future self. So let me stop rambling. Oh God. Let's just go ahead and get started. So whenever you're ready, begin to sink into your body. Just letting your shoulders fall down your spine. Letting your tongue release from the roof of your mouth and just finding a place of comfort and relaxation. We'll begin our meditation today with 5 grounding breaths. When you're ready, nice big inhale in and an exhale out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Twice more. Inhale and exhale. Last time. Inhale and exhale. Begin to breathe just like you. And when you're ready, I invite you to begin to envision your happy place on the other side of your eyelids. Maybe this place is your childhood bedroom, or your favorite coffee shop, or maybe your local library. Wherever this place is, begin to look around and spot 3 beautiful things. I now would like to invite you to envision your higher self, your future self, your eternal self, and invite them to take a seat next to you. Taking some time just to breathe them in. What qualities do they have? Noticing how they arrive. Maybe they take a shape of a younger version of yourself, embodying innocence. Or maybe they arrive as an older version of yourself, embodying wisdom. Or maybe they don't take a human shape at all. Maybe they take the shape of an animal, an insect, a flower, a ball of light. Just taking some time now to take in your higher self, your future self, your eternal self. I now would like to invite you to open the floor and ask your future self anything that's in your heart. Now invite you to give the floor to your future self and allow them to ask you anything that's on their heart. Taking all the time that you need here. When you're ready, I invite you to thank your higher self, your future self, your eternal self for their wisdom. And when you're ready, we will begin to come out of our meditative space just as we came in with 5 grounding breaths. When you're ready, nice big inhale in and an exhale out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Twice more. Inhale and exhale. Last time. Inhale and exhale. Begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and slowly begin to flutter your eyes open. If there's anything that really resonated with you, I invite you to take some time to pause this podcast and journal on your meditative experience. How did that feel for everyone? I wrote some notes the last time I did this meditation, and I said it was like a dream, so clear when I'm in it, but when I come out the meditation, it's like water in my hands, slipping away quickly, and the more I try to hold on, the faster I lose it. I love that reflection, and I also feel like that's how a lot of things go in this life. Like when you are really trying to hold on to something, sometimes that squeeze is like the death. It like ends the situation, the concept, whatever it is. It's almost like when you hold on too tight, that's when it's really over. anyways, moving on. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about like your spiritual journey and exactly what that means. And so I think when you are doing these exercises, like talking to your future self, your higher self, it's truly a way of like connecting to your intuition and allowing things to come through with an intention. The intention being to separating from your ego and just receiving the future, not so much creating it. And so when you're thinking of yourself as like a receiver or a recipient of these blessings from the universe, you're allowing yourself to become like a little bit more whole in your spiritual journey. And so if we take a step back, the journey of the soul is one that aligns with many like Eastern religions, and that it aligns with the idea of reincarnation. And so the idea is that your soul is cycling through these different lifetimes, your past lives, your current lives, and your future lives on a journey to become whole, right? And so there's this concept that even like your family and the people that you meet in school, at work, and your hobbies, these are all people that the universe has put into your life in order to help bring you to that wholeness. It's also the reason why our really close relationships with our family or longtime family friends can oftentimes be the ones that have the most conflict, the people that are able to activate you the most, because they're the ones that are the most integral to your soul's journey to wholeness. And whenever I do like meditations and I ask like my higher self or my higher power, what is it that I need to know? And I always get the same message. It's always patience. It comes so clear, and it just makes me so frustrated sometimes because I'm like, I want this and I want it now. But I think that is kind of just like my own personal soul's journey, like right now. I think my soul's journey in this lifetime is to learn patience and to understand patience in a new dynamic way. And I invite you to kind of reflect on like, what is your Achilles heel, so to speak? Like, what is it that comes up for you over and over and over again in multiple different situations and different interpersonal relationships? Just kind of thinking about it in like an abstract way, right? Allowing your ego to really melt and trying to see what are the themes in my soul's journey in this lifetime. Ego death can be quite a hard thing to accomplish, but your ego or your personality like often believes it knows what we want. And I think that kind of goes back to what I was saying with like, I know what I want and I want it now, and I don't want to embrace patience. But what we truly need to reach our wholeness in our spiritual journey is coming, as long as we're open to receive it from the universe. And I'm like reading some of my notes from one of the classes that I took, and it's honestly just so iconic, but it's saying, we truly only connect to the spiritual world in the present. Everything else is a cognition. So things like depression, that's like us trying to heal the past. Things like anxiety, that's like us trying to heal the future. The spiritual field is the here and now and the present moment. So when you think about the soul's journey, right, and the idea that you've had these past lives and that you will have future lives, the idea is that at birth, your soul has kind of chose the conflicts that it wants you to work through in this lifetime. And I know this can be very woo-woo-y if you guys aren't like super spiritual people, but if you're listening to this podcast, I hope you have a little bit of spiritual inclination. And so at birth, your soul determines, these soul ties and the conflicts that it wants you to work through in this lifetime in order to reach wholeness. And when you have a conflict within yourself, you become kind of bound to this conflict, right? That's why you kind of get in the same situations over and over again, whether that's like dating the same type of person or having the same arguments with like family members just over and over and over again. I recently started rewatching Summer House from the beginning, and I'm watching season 1, and I swear to you guys, I think I'm watching season 8. It's literally the same thing. Like, Lindsay's in a relationship with someone in the house. The relationship's going really bad. Carl's treating Amanda terribly. And I'm like, is this season 1 or season 8? Like, these people have been doing this for years, but they're still going through the same exact conflicts, and they haven't reached like their wholeness yet. And so when you take yourself, or your ego rather, out of the equation, you can realize that you're going through the same traumas, the same experiences again and again and again, but you need to heal yourself in the way that you're not giving into your compulsions to respond the same way every time. Growth comes when you can see the situation, the mirror of the situation over, but then choose to respond differently. And so I think that's kind of the whole purpose of your soul's journey, right? We reach enlightenment not by giving in to our ego and giving in to what feels good, but rather by releasing what is no longer serving us. If you have a pattern of dating really bad partners, arguing with them and telling them how valuable you are, or yada, 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 going back and forth, that's not going to fix the issue. What's going to fix the issue is removing yourself from the situation and being patient until someone who treats you better comes along. So whatever pattern of conflicts that you might find yourself in, whether that's conflicts at work, either not being able to keep a job or not being able to move up, or conflicts in romantic relationships, kind of getting into the same argumentative cycles, or conflicts within your family, seeing your parents fight about the same thing for, years and years on end. Whatever the conflict is, they are not random. They are here to enliven you, for you to work through them, to help you receive the messages, and then ultimately to guide your soul to wholeness. So I invite you to kind of view these conflicts as a guiding post to your life path. These are not just one-offs. They're here to really help heal the consciousness of your soul. So how do you heal your spiritual energy? The present moment is our contact to the spiritual dimension, and experiencing conflicts in the present help us to heal our soul effectively. So take conflicts that may have been created from past lives and experience that in the present. Once the conflict is fully experienced, that's when it can be released. And as a healer, you have to create a space to hold the energy that is released. So if you're a yoga instructor or a Reiki energy worker, or maybe you're someone who creates like music or art, whatever it is, whatever your healing modality is, give yourself the space to hold and examine and then release the energy, either with yourself or with your healer, whether that's your therapist or yoga instructor, Reiki healer, etc. So yeah, the release of energy must be processed by the person, and this is the integration. So as we kind of move in our own spiritual journeys, I invite you to really stay in the present moment. It is so easy to ruminate and to get stuck in the past. So easy to get anxious and to get stuck in the future. But I just want to remind you to take some time to cultivate gratitude in the present moment, and then also to cultivate your inner peace. Sometimes when our lives are boring, we get bored and we seek out the conflict, or we seek out that drama to bring some excitement and some energy back into our lives. I want to invite you to kind of embrace the boring. Conflict is coming. Things are always changing, but embrace the boring, embrace the now, and just see how you can get closer to healing. It's funny too. I was on Threads. Also, I am a Threads girl. Like, I don't even have Twitter on my phone anymore, but I was on Threads and there was a tweet, a thread, a string about a woman who was telling her romantic partner, like, oh yeah, like I just don't have anything on my mind right now. And they're like, what? We've been in this car for 20 minutes. Like, you haven't been thinking about anything? And it's just like, that's inner peace, my love. Like, I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm just sitting in the car and enjoying the ride and receiving the views as they pass us by. And I think that's kind of a good metaphor to end the podcast on. Life is all about receiving. Just sit back, relax, and receive the journey. All right, let's transition into our mindful closure. Okay, my beautiful little love bugs and light beams. I want to invite you to take some time and just reflect on, like, what is the conflict of your life? What is a situation that you find yourself in over and over and over again? Maybe it circles around trust, being able to trust others, or maybe it circles around following your intuition and trusting your gut rather than trying to logic your way into or out of situations. For me, I honestly think it's loud and clear in its patience, something I've been working on for my full 29 years on this planet. So whatever it is, take some time to journal and then maybe even see if you can create like a thread or a timeline throughout your like soul's journey or your lifetime. Oftentimes I found that when I tried to rush into things, I often ended up in the wrong place and took a little bit longer for me to get where I was meant to go because I was trying to find shortcuts along the way. So that's a little bit about me. I would love for you guys to journal and learn a little bit more about you, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I don't even know. I also was away to Brazil, which is why I also was not uploading any podcast episodes. And if you guys want to watch that, I have uploaded my Brazil vlog and I would love for you guys to see it. I'll leave a link in the show notes and I will see you guys next time. Love you. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Naked Yoga Podcast. My name is Nika, and if you want more content from me, you can follow me on Instagram or subscribe to my YouTube channel at Nourish Nika. This is a completely independent podcast. Yes, I write the scripts, record, and edit the podcast all by myself. Therefore, any support you could give, like a share, a comment, maybe leaving a little review on Apple Podcast or wherever you might be listening, would go a very long way and warm my little itty bitty heart. Thank you so much once again for listening, my love bug. I will see you in the next episode.